Morning guys, Tater here, welcome to Tater Games. Today we are talking about Fortnite and PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. Called it! If you do not remember, a few weeks ago I actually made a video that said somebody is actually going to create another Battlegrounds game very shortly, so you guys should start making it. And of course bigger companies are going to look towards PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds and try and replicate what they have. And it has just happened, so I'm very happy that I was kind of correct in what I said, which kind of means that there is going to be a lot more competition between these two companies, one of which is Bluehole, which made PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, and the other one is of course the guys who made Fortnite, which is Epic Games, who just so happens to own Unreal Engine, the engine which both parties kind of have been using for their games. And you're probably wondering why I'm being so smug about this. Well, basically I don't like PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds as much as people may think. I've clocked like 150 hours actually playing the game. I do find it very enjoyable. However, I dislike the whole development side. The game is perfect. The game is really fun. But the developers are incredibly questionable and don't seem to be able to fix all the bugs, all the physics when it comes to the cars and just shooting mechanics, all this type of stuff, and there's lots and lots of lag. And one of their very valid excuses is that it is in early access. They're still trying to kink out all the bugs, and of course they're working towards building a final release. To which I say, really? As part of the more recent updates that everyone's excited for these new maps and new vehicles, they're making like a mystery machine thing, and all of that's really cool. Fix the bugs! The game only just works enough to be playable. The UI doesn't work very well. When you're in-game, often things just glitch around. People are not in places where they seem to be. Your loading is terrible. The optimization of the game is terrible. You have all these things to fix, and you're creating a desert map. Could fix the car physics, the car systems, all of that type of stuff. No, instead of doing that, you're actually just adding another car. And don't give me that it's not as easy as it looks thing. They have enough money to pay for enough people to get this type of stuff done in, God knows, overnight. Put it this way, the game is relatively expensive, maybe not for the amount of hours that you actually clock on it. The game itself is, I still find fun even with all these bugs, don't get me wrong. However, $40 for, what's it, they like to brag about 10 million people bought the game. That's $400 million. It's obviously a lot of money that they could invest into the game, but they choose not to for God knows what reason. It could possibly be greed, which is not a bad thing. They've made a successful game. They kind of deserve all that money, I guess, that they're getting. It's just that part of that money should be sort of invested back into the game that you're getting it from if you really want to please the community that you have just built. Given Battlegrounds actually has a very large community now, a lot of people play it. I mean, I gained 10 million sales that they like to brag about is a lot, and it's congratulations for that. But the laziness that comes out of Bluehole has pretty much made it certain that someone else is going to come out of the ground and sort of take away their community. Whether or not it will actually work is very unknown. Fortnite is kind of just sprung out of nowhere. It's very fast, and I mean, they've got a lot of advertising behind them. I see them all the time on Facebook. New Battle Royale genre coming out soon, you know, type of thing. The gameplay looks very similar to PUBG, as I said before. It's sprung out, it looks perfect, it looks very polished and refined, it's got that nice art style, but of course all of this could just be a bit misleading, you know. Sometimes the trailers do actually trick us. Anyway, Fortnite Battle Royale is actually coming out very shortly, and the best part, and what a lot of people often do to kind of steal communities away from people, is that they've actually made the game free. So the game just sprung out, made by Epic Games, which is again a very big company, a lot of knowledge in that company, so I have a feeling that the game is actually going to be really well made, refined, optimized perfectly. I believe they've actually got time constraints for release because they've already beta tested it with anyone who has actually bought Fortnite, I believe. I do believe they have time constraints. I'm not too sure if there is actually a date of release and stuff like that, but there is definitely a beta date, and it seems to be very soon, and they seem to be moving very fast. From the announcement of the actual beta, which was not too long ago, of course, and it kind of made PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds very concerned about their own game, reckoning, you know, they're taking certain aspects that makes our game very unique. I have no clue if they've actually got the lore involved, but I know that there is a lot of concern there, and again, it's very unjustified concern. Well, the concern itself is very justified. Right, they seem to claim that Bluehole isn't trying to claim ownership of the Battle Royale game mode, which is very good. They should never ever try and do that. It just was a little bit spicy, of course, when I read it for the first time. People were telling me, oh, they're going to sue Epic Games, and of course, if you are having a private conversation between companies and stuff like that, then of course you got to remember your game is made on their engine. if you want to take away their game or try and do something towards their game, they can probably do something towards your game. It's a great do not bite the hand that actually feeds you sort of motif. So maybe there was a bit of private conversation that actually caused them to retract anything that they actually say. And now, of course, media, myself, is kind of feeding the fire that kind of makes them look like a big topic. The point I'm trying to make is that the video I made before was 100% correct. You guys may have missed out because there are two now very, very large companies that are kind of trying to dominate the market. Similar to League of Legends and Dota, these two games are extremely different. I have a feeling that the League of Legends one is going to be like Fortnite's Battle Royale, because of course you got that cartoony style. Of course, I think it's going to attract a lot more child-friendly or just children and teenagers and all that type of stuff. Whereas Battlegrounds is more like your sort of teenagers, adult kind of mix. It's kind of like Call of Duty without sort of the 12-year-old voices like you hear. I don't know about you guys, but I've never actually heard very young people playing Battlegrounds. I have a feeling it's too sort of dedicated and a little bit too hard. But that's just my experience. I don't want to set it in stone, but you know, we've got kind of like an Overwatch sort of look to Fortnite, and the kids love that stuff. Also got your crafting. They can relate to it through things like Minecraft and probably like Rust and all those other weird games. I'm actually really looking forward to Fortnite's Battle Royale. I mean, it's free, which is the first thing that's going to kind of make sort of PUBG sort of concerning, because it's going to take everyone who hates PUBG after purchasing it and go like, oh hey, here's a game that actually works. Don't get me wrong, I can see you typing in the comment section, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. Well, it's all opinion, so I do kind of know what I'm talking about. And again, my opinion is that I like PUBG. I enjoy playing it. I hate their developers, I really do. And I'm really looking forward to Fortnite Battle Royale. And that is this entire video in a nutshell. Basically, the developers of PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds could do a better job with the money that they have, which by God is a lot, and it really me off. PUBG, great game, very fun. Even though it needs a bit of work, it is still extremely enjoyable. Teamwork's there, everything kind of just fits in together. It's a nice squad-based game. And Fortnite Battle Royale looks very, very promising. Possibly going to be a little bit of conflict and a little bit of sharing of the PUBG community is going to come onto Fortnite and sort of ditch that game. We'll see what happens. I got one of the predictions right already that there will be an upcoming game that's going to try and beat PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. That's all I'm happy about. I don't really care about everything else. Anyway, guys, I'm hoping that you're having a very productive day. I certainly am. I've been working on the IO game a little bit last night and the night before, but yesterday was actually my mother's birthday, so I took it off to spend the day with her and stuff like that. Also, I got this. So cozy. It's like a bathrobe. I look like a Jedi. Or someone from Vikings, if you just cut the bottom half off. Anyway guys, tomorrow I'm actually going to skip banana bread and continue talks. I think this is a very ranty week, so I'm just talking down to a lot of people, including the Firewatch thing yesterday. If you haven't seen that video, go and see it. It's quite important that you know what the message was in there. But I'm sure I've taken up enough of your time already, so you guys go, be productive, have a great day, and have a very productive day. And as always, if you want to send me anything, go to the Discord link in the description, followed by other social media links to talk to me. Don't use Facebook, guys. Use like Twitter or something. I don't really go on Facebook that much. I will see you tomorrow when... My board is messy and in the wrong spot. What are you doing, board? You know what? It will be a surprise. I'll see you then.